What is going on, guys? EK1 Gaming here, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 build video. In today's video, we're going to be utilizing Arc 3.0 with the Hunter class. Now, this is a absolute hilarious build, and I don't say hilarious when it comes to builds normally, but this is just so much fun to use, including Legend, Master Lost Sectors, any kind of hard content. You can pretty much go around and yeet everything across the map like you see me doing right now. Basically, if you enjoy the video and you have as much fun as I did, help me out by hitting that like button, hit the subscribe button, and a massive thank you to everyone that's become a member of the channel. I didn't expect that many people to want to become a member of the channel, but thank you so much for the support. And if you do want to help support, you can also hit that join button if you want to join the membership program. If not, just help me out by hitting the like button, like I say, and of course watching the video to the end and leaving me a nice little comment. With all that being said, let's get into the build breakdown. So looking at the build breakdown, we are utilizing Arc Strider on the Hunter subclass. And then, of course, for the super, we're using Gathering Storm. So this is an arc staff that you throw at enemies. It's jolts nearby targets, and it lasts quite a long time, actually, and does quite a lot of damage. In terms of abilities, we're using Gambler's Dodge, and that is because when we're dodging near enemies, it fully recharges your melee ability. We're using Triple Jump as normal. And then for the melee, we are using Combination Blow. Now, a quick strike that temporarily increases your melee damage when defeating a target, and it stacks 3 times. So defeating targets with this ability is also fully refills your class ability energy and restores a small amount of health. This is going to be good for getting that health back to make sure that we can actually face tank NPCs. For the grenade, we are utilizing the Pulse Grenade, so a grenade that periodically damages targets within its explosion radius. So this lasts quite long as well, because we're going to use a fragment to go along with this to make it last just that little bit longer. But it is a pretty good grenade. It's one of my favorites, actually. You can use the Storm Grenade or Lightning Grenade as well. They do work okay with this build too. Aspects, we're using Lethal Current. So after dodging, your next melee attack has an increased lunge range, jolts the target, and creates a damaging aftershock. And then damaging any jolted target with a melee attack also blinds them. So this is good because we're going to be up close and personal. We are going to be using the melee a lot. So go ahead and make sure you've got Lethal Current on as one of your aspects. This gives us 2 fragment slots. Then we're going Flow State. Now, defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. While you're amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly. We're going to be utilizing that a lot. And you are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. Reload speed is not a big deal for me at the moment, but the whole thing about being amplified, it's going to fit in with some of the fragments, mods and stuff that we're running. So to make our super more powerful, and also jolting targets as well. We're going to be jolting them a lot. So you're always going to be defeating jolted targets pretty much. So amplified should always be active. For the first fragment, we're going for Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. Now, this is very good because we are going to be face tanking. We are going to be up front and personal, up close and personal with the NPCs. We are going to be meleeing them a lot. So to have this extra resistance is pretty good. Then we're going Spark of Magnitude. So your lingering arc grenades, so for us the Pulse Grenade, have extended duration. So basically it's going to last longer, kill more NPCs for us, and stay on the ground that slight bit longer. It's not a lot longer, but it's long enough to have this as one of the fragments. Then it's Spark of Recharge. So while critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. So if we do get low on health, which we will be some points, your melee and grenade energy will be regenerating more quickly. We also, when we melee, we're going to get health back as well from 2 different sources. So it's good for us to be up close and personal. Good for us to get those abilities back quicker. And then Spark of Shock. So your arc grenades jolt targets. We're going to be jolting a lot of targets. We're going to be utilizing the whole jolt. We're going to be utilizing the amplified, and of course the melee damage as well. So on the build, you are going to aim for 100 resilience. I know I'm a bit short here. I have made some changes. And of course, 100 discipline as well. So discipline, resilience. And if you're looking for a 3rd slot, I would go for recovery. So if you want to get the recovery back a lot faster, or even if you like mobility and you want to get that ability back, go ahead and go for mobility. So if you want to run triple stats, it's either mobility as the 3rd or recovery. When it comes to weapons, it doesn't really matter what you use. This could be suited to what kind of game or mode you're playing at the time. If you need a barrier, then of course put a scout on or something like that. But for me, I do have a couple of favorites, and one of them is Trinity Ghoul. I think that's an absolutely fantastic bow at the moment. Le Monarch, because it has overload built in. So if you do have Le Monarch on, of course you don't have to have overload on your arms, which we'll show you in a second. Sunshot, again, another good option. But generally, any weapon you like, go ahead and equip what you want. Now for the helmet, we have gone for an arc helmet, and we are using hands-on. So basically gain bonus super energy on melee kills. We're double stacking that. You can use other mods here. There are some other mods you can use if you want to generate orbs of power, like harmonic siphon, kinetic siphon. So you don't have to double stack these. These are just something I prefer to get my super back a bit faster, because I do utilize the super a lot depending on what mode I am playing. And then for the main mod, we're running Well of Ions. So picking up an Arc Elemental Well causes your next melee to deal increased damage. Basically, we're going to be generating a lot of wells that match our subclass, so Arc. And then this is going to basically proc and make us cause, make us have more melee damage to the next person that we hit. So we're definitely going to be utilizing this one quite a bit. So for the exotic, we are using the Liar's Handshake Gauntlet. Now, the reason for this is using your Arc melee ability or being hit by melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counterpunch that will heal you. So this is two forms of healing when we're actually punching. So this is going to really help out keeping us alive when we're up close and personal punching those NPCs. Now, we've gone for Overload and Anti-Barrier, but these two, of course, you can switch out. Now, like I said earlier, if you have Le Monarch, you don't need Overload on here, because it has built-in Overload. So I would switch out to Focusing Strike. So it grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack. So go ahead and equip that. And if you were going to take off the other one, if you didn't need any mods or any champion mods, I would go Impact Induction. So causing damage with a melee attack reduces your cooldown for your grenade. So basically you can have grenade and melee at all times. So utilize those two unless you need the champion mods, which are here. And then we're going for Bountiful Wells. Basically all this means is it spawns additional wells. So when we create wells, you will get a couple more or one more well on the ground. So it's a lot faster to get your abilities back, and it just procs up that little bit of extra wells on the ground for us to pick up to become amplified, become get our abilities back, and then of course proc our melee damage. So it's very helpful to have on Bountiful Wells. I'd say it's probably a must-have on most builds actually. Now for the chest piece, this can be anything. We've gone Arc on it, and we're having Concussive Dampener, so it reduces incoming area of effect damage from combatants. And then we've got Thermoshock Plating, so it reduces incoming solar and arc damage. The main mod, Font of Wisdom. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type grants you a temporary significant increase in your intellect, improving the recharge rate of your super. So we are going to be generating our super fast. We've got two things now procking to make our super come back a lot quicker, and we are going to be getting it a lot and utilizing that for the big damage. If you didn't want and you wasn't worried about supers, I would go for something like Seeking Wells or something along those lines. Seeking Wells is very good because the wells come to you. You don't have to run to them. You can pretty much stand in a spot. Or sort of melee well maker or elemental ordnance, something along those lines. Now for the boots, we have gone for solar. Again, you can have anything. We have gone for 2 lots of innovation. So it reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. So we've just doubled up on that. You can put, holster scavengers or anything like that on, but I like to double up on these because we do generate some orbs of power. It's not the main objective, but we will be generating orbs of power, so we will, be able to utilize that to get the grenade cooldown. Then we're going melee well maker. So powered melee combatant final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. So we're going to spawn arc elemental wells. So this is what we need to be picking up. This is what we need to basically get everything else procking, get everything working as it should. So melee well maker is definitely a must-have. Cloak, we have Artificer Armor, so we have an extra mod slot on the end here. We're not utilizing the first mod slot because we're going to pump it up with the seasonal mods. The first one is Thunderous Retort. So it grants bonus arc super damage if cast while critically wounded or while amplified. So basically our super is going to do a lot more damage while we're amplified. We are going to be amplified 99% of the time. So our super is going to absolutely wreck. And it does wreck if you use it in the right way. Then we're going Surge Detonator. So if you don't want to run Overload, you don't want to run Le Monarch, you can just use your grenade to stun those Overload champs. Then we're going to go for Bad Amplitude. So damaging a champion with an arc ability causes the champion to become jolted. We're going to jolt all the champions. Basically what we're going to be doing is just punching the champions over and over again, which is an arc ability, which is going to cause them to be jolted. Then we're going Well of Striking. So picking up an Arc Elemental Well grants you additional melee energy, and multiple copies of it increases this effect. So basically, when we're picking up these Arc Wells, we're getting more energy back from our melee. So it's going to come back faster. Again, with grenades as well, they're going to generate wells. We're going to basically be just over and over again using our abilities. We'll use our weapons minimum in pretty much any content. In the footage, you can see I'm doing Lost Sectors, so Master Lost Sector, a Legend Lost Sector, and all that good stuff. So you can pretty much just go through and punch everything to death. So that is it for today's build breakdown. I really hope you found this helpful and really enjoyed it as much as I do. I use this all the time, including it in raids as well. But for me, it's just the fun aspect. You can stay alive. It's something different. You don't have to just use the meta constantly. But if you did find it helpful, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and again, thank you to everyone who's become a member. We've seen an increase in memberships of the channel. If you do want to join that membership club, go ahead and click the join button. But if not, I really am grateful that you've watched this video to the end. It really does help support the channel.